Greetings, my colleagues. Today I want to share with you a little bit about social justice and counseling according to the readings that we had for this particular assignment. One of the things that I found most important, of course, was the definition and how it started out talking about social justice is both a goal and a process. It's the goal and process of counselors who believe in developing an increasingly social just world, one in which all people receive equitable opportunities to access resources and participate in policies and law development that affect them, ultimately resulting in a society that embodies harmony between the needs of the individuals and the needs of the whole. When we look at social justice, we are responsible as counselors for helping to develop a framework and using a comprehensive scope and a preventative design to ensure that those that we meet with, those that we counsel with, those that we provide therapy for, are having their social needs met. And when I say social needs, we're not talking about whether they're able to get on Facebook or whether they're able to intermingle with some other chat room. But the social issues are, how do they get the best possible care from us as counselors, regardless to their background, regardless to their beliefs, regardless to how they live? How do we help them to live the life that will inform or enable them to become the best person that they can be? We have to be advocates for them. Our values can't necessarily be their values. And so we have to make sure that what we do is in the best interest of the client. And sometimes that means we have to put aside our prejudices, our biases, in order to make sure that our clients are getting the best that they can get so that they're not feeling socially disadvantaged or devalued. Having grown up in the 60s and in the state of Arkansas, I know that feeling of being disadvantaged. I know that feeling of being devalued. And that's why it is important for me as a counselor or as a therapist to make sure that I don't pass that same judgment or that same injustice off to those that I counsel with. In other words, it's important for me to show a transcendent value where I treat them in such a manner that they feel valued, where they understand and know that what they want or what they desire is important to me as a counselor, and that I'm trying to help them to get on their feet or to get to that goal that they're trying to reach that will cause them to be healthy and in their way of thinking, or healthy in their way of living, or healthy in their way of decision making. I also like when the text says that we have to go by the golden rule, which is somewhat adapted for us as counselors, meaning that that golden rule says, treat others as you would want to be treated if you were in that counseling position. That means we also may have to understand what it means to engage in a multicultural diversity way of understanding things. Just because I have grown up in a certain environment doesn't mean that everybody that's come from my background or my cultural ethnicity will have the same principles, the same values, the same experiences. And yet at the same time, we have to realize that there are some things that may be inherent in a culture or in a community. And as we do that, we are trying to make sure that we understand from the individual standpoint and not just as a community or as a group of people, which if we do that, we're pushing our values and judgments on them. We also have to understand what it means to have virtue. That means that we have to have character in who we are and how we share with those who are in need. And it is or should be our disposition that we share the very best skills that we have, things that we've acquired or learned along the way that will be in the best interest of the client. I think that social justice is important, especially for me as a counselor now. I want to do my best when people come in to ensure that they feel valued, that they feel like that I care, and that when they will leave better people, not necessarily just because of me, but because of the feeling that they get while they're there. And may God give me the grace to be gracious unto others as he's been gracious unto me. To me, that's social justice. Amen. God's blessings to you.